Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Thursday, August 31st, 2023. In the headlines today, Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson launch a $10 million charity for Maui. I'm going to talk about that coming today on the last day of August, 23 days after the fires began. And yesterday, August 30th, Mitch McConnell froze again, something he had done recently. And people have been wondering, has there been some sort of medical problem for Mitch McConnell that hasn't been revealed? Anyway, today the doctors clear him for work. But yeah, it just, it begs the question, what's going on? We'll look at the latest freezing episode and what's so interesting about the date it happened. And in the aftermath of the latest storm to impact America going through Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, they're talking about this town of artists that really got it bad. We'll look at that town. What's interesting, how they picked out that specific town out of all the places they could have reported about. And also tragic news out of South Africa. Johannesburg, at least 74 dead in a fire. This morning when I first got up, the count was at 38. Of course, in Gematria, 38 equals, or the word fire equates to 38. Again, if you're new here, Gematria, very simple practice, coding numbers into words using the alphabetic order. F is the 6th letter, I is the 9th, R is the 18th, E is the 5th. So you get 6 plus 9 plus 18 plus 5, which is 38. And again, that was the count earlier. 74 is very interesting. Just yesterday, we were talking about the significance of the number 74 in death and destruction and what's been going on this year while King Charles has been 74 years old. Yesterday in Charleston, they were worried about the king tide. For the record, tomorrow, September 1st, will be 74 days before Charles' birthday on November 14th, which means today was 75 days before his 75th birthday. We'll talk about this in light of King Charles in the British territory that is South Africa. A lot of British territories on this earth, including the United States of America, where we're speaking English. And I think we'll just start right here to go through today's headlines that have come out today, at least the big ones. Proud Boys leader sentenced to 17 years. Now remember, this is over the January 6th insurrection, as they call it, right? The one where you couldn't accurately predict what would happen on January 6th before it played out. Otherwise, your channel would be shut down and deleted again. But anyhow, it was the 59th U.S. presidential election, which is the 17th prime number. Okay, 59, the 17th prime. Remember, D.C. is known as the Masonic City, modern Freemasonry created in London, England, in the year 1717. 1717. And again, 59 is the 17th prime number. In Gematria, Freemasonry equals 59, and the word Mason alone equals 17. 59, the 17th prime, modern Freemasonry created in 1717. 59 years later, this nation created, where the Masonic City, Washington, D.C. is also the nation's capital. 59 and 17 are a big pattern that we've talked about many a times, and here it is again. The media has been revealing that a lot of the Proud Boys members are government informants, and again, you start to think about these things. But if you're new here, if you're new here, I want you to appreciate the gematria of, say, Proud Boys, Mike Pence. Here, it'll make sense in a moment. Gematria, it's very simple. Proud Boys, gematria of 135 with the alphabetic order, 45 with the alphabetic order and numerology, 108 with the reverse alphabetic order, and 45 with the reverse alphabetic order and numerology. It's very simple. Just gematria, alphabetic order forwards, backwards, and then also employing numerology. But again, the Proud Boys are Donald Trump supporters, number 45, right? And forwards and backwards 45, just like Mike Pence, the VP. And remember the big joke with the Berlin Wall, because Trump was called president-elect in the early hours of November 9th, the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. Berlin Wall is also 63, like 2016 is the 63rd triangular number, meaning if you had 1 through 63 together, it equals 2016. Muhammad Ali died on 6/3 in 2016. They say the Prophet Muhammad died at age 63. And remember, 74 is a special number. We predicted years before Muhammad Ali died why he would die at age 74 in light of this code of 74, the number that first got me to see through Gematria. And again, this number is just used too much, but now in Johannesburg, while the king again is 74. So, coming back to the Gematria Proud Boys. Proud Boys. 135. I want you to notice that if you write out Central Intelligence Agency, it also equals 135. It also equals 243. And this news comes on the 243rd day of the year. And the CIA, it's essentially part of this military-industrial complex that other former politicians have warned us about, is working, for the interest of something other than we the people. But anyway, we've done a lot of work on the CIA, the very Jesuit origins. You guys are new here. If you write out all the words in the CIA's logo, Central Intelligence Agency, United States of America, you see the 201, just like when you write out the Jesuit order, it's 201. Their founder, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201, the first Jesuit pope. Or did I say, excuse me, I misspoke. The first Jesuit pope is Jorge Mario Bergoglio. That's Pope Francis right now, and he's the first to live in Suite 201. But Ignatius of Loyola is the founder of the Jesuits, and his name's also 201. But so is the phrase Catholic Pope, 201, and that's who the Jesuits serve. Again, the CIA was established officially September 18th, 47, the 201st day of the sitting Pope's age at the time. And anyway, I just want to make the point about where Proud Boys, CIA, and today the 243rd day of the year really come together. But remind you also who's come up with this system. It is the same people whose calendar we're on. And again, this was a logical process for me. It started with, okay, why are numbers so important? Why is there a book in the Bible called Numbers? Why are all these number rituals in 9/11 clearly? What's going on in this nation? Why do I always see the same numbers in the news? What's it all about? Again, you ask enough questions, like I did from the time I was 18 until the time I was 30. And again, looking back, I feel like I should have found this way before 30. I feel like, part of the reason is because in that period of time, sometimes I just had to stop looking into things because nobody else cared. But anyway, it took 10 years to find this word gematria in Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages. Again, just looking at this stuff day after day ever since, it's undeniable what's going on. But anyway, this Proud Boys news, it also comes 138 weeks and a day after the anniversary of January, or not the anniversary, but just January 6, 2021 itself. And again, 138. We talk about this number all the time. Donald Trump is 138. Federal is 138. And a million other things. This whole thing down in Fulton County with the fourth indictment in the fourth state. Fulton County, 138. And then he's also in trouble in Coffee County in Georgia, which is another 138. And this was all the news on the day leaving 138 days left in the year, as well as August 13th, a couple days before that. And the day leaving 138 days left in the year is the Jesuit order's birthday, August 15th. That Misfits song, We Are 138. About like this futuristic... Again, look into the lyrics for that Misfits song, We Are 138. It's like sounds like a big tech takeover, and we know how big tech and the Jesuits are. But anyway... other things interesting about 967 days, it's the 163rd prime number, and 163 is the 38th prime number, and DC is the city on the 38th parallel north. Pentagon equals 38, like murder, like death, like killing, like RIP, but also like Kabbalah and Gematria and killing, and the song Gematria, the killing name. And where are all these stories taking America to? And how big of a joke is this? CNN's so often trying to capture the moment with a photo. What does this moment really say? He's sentenced to 17 years and he's smiling away with his mustache? I mean, come on, man. Okay, but this Johannesburg thing. Again, at least 74 dead. You see how gematria and killing both equal 74 and 38? And earlier today, the death count was at least 38. Now it's climbed up to at least 74, and I'm sure it'll continue to climb because, as they always do with these rituals, they make sure to stop on numbers that are very significant in their Kabbalistic practice. But again, that song Gematria, the killing name, if you haven't heard it, look up or just read the lyrics to it. It's better to read the lyrics than listen to the song. The song's hard to understand because it's one of those metal bands where singers screaming, but if you read the lyrics, you can make it out. And again, America's a killing name. It'll burn your cities down. And we just talked about how big these numbers were and what happened to Maui, and we've talked about them so many times before. But here we are in another fire, and 74 is the number again. And again, just a short little taste of 74. Words like killing, occult, Masonic are all 74. So is Holy Roman Empire and Roman itself, like cross, like London. Like the king, I should have wrote the king down, who's 74 right now. Holy Roman Empire, well, we just covered that. But London, holiday, Independence Day, free, all of these words are 74. I hope they don't do something, a follow-up that's even worse tomorrow on September 1st. I'll be paying attention to what they do tomorrow. Tomorrow's 74 days before Charles' birthday, while he's 74 years old. And tomorrow leaves 121 days left in the year, like South Africa and blood sacrifice. So I hope this is it and they don't have to do any more and they just got it in before the deadline. But they might have some kind of memorial for it or something like that as soon as tomorrow. But yeah, just all these big international headlines, tragedies they want you to know about. You just start paying attention. You realize this is some wicked-ass cabal. People are a death cult. It's like they need the sacrifices to whatever they believe in, and they're believing in what they're believing in because they're getting what they want. So that's confirmation that they're right. Thank you, God, they say, for allowing us to rule another day. We only had to sacrifice 74 because of the advancements of our technology, aren't we? Maybe that's the way they think about it. Maybe back in the day they used to kill even more people. They're like, look at us now. We've slimmed down. We're only killing 74 today. You should have seen us when we had our fingers on the bombs. Anyway, this whole thing being synced with Charles. Look at Johannesburg and King Charles in Gematria. The exact same in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. And again, earlier today, it's 14 hours ago now. Johannesburg building fire death toll rises to 38 in South Africa. They got to cross that number. Again, it just happened with Ryan Gosling and Sandra Bullock, like at the same time. They're both the stars in the movie Murder by Numbers, where the movie poster codes out the 3 and the 8, right in the words 3-8, murders 38 and 83. And again, the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83, and Sandra Bullock's 83. And that movie came out on Ignatius Loyola Day, the day that he became the first superior general of the Jesuits, the founder of the Jesuits. The movie came out 38 weeks after Sandra Bullock's birthday. And we just saw Gosling from the Kinks die 38 weeks into Ryan Gosling's age right after the Barbie movie, as Sandra Bullock's longtime lover, as they report in the headlines, dies at a relatively young age, 57. You'd think with all the money Sandra Bullock has, you can get some medical stuff done in this world. I think it wouldn't have been that bad, but anyhow, in other headlines, they focus on this little town that got hit hard, Cedar Key, Florida. And we talked about how the August 30th destruction was 74 days before the Superior General's birthday. And he's 74 years old right now. That's the leader of the Jesuits, Arturo Sosa. 74 days before his birthday. This is a hurricane. The qualifying wind speeds for a hurricane are 74 miles per hour. And Cedar Key, Florida, this town they focus on, just happens to have the gematria of 74. And a lot of the numbers there are interesting. Let me just look at the coordinates of it real quick, too. It's on the 83rd meridian west. How about that, you guys? I'm glad I looked that up. Remember, the words flood and earth, and Enlil, the Babylonian god of flooding, this whole gematria code going back to Babylon. Flood, earth, Enlil are the exact same in almost every cipher. The only difference is flood is different when you run it in reverse with numerology, but they're the exact same. And in reverse, they're all 83, like how this town's on the 83rd meridian. This happened on August 30th, 830. Genesis 8:3 is where the biblical flood ends after 150 days. And we also saw that 150 Pasco County rescued. Hold up. Again, we were looking at this headline yesterday out of Pasco County, Florida. This was a national headline that they rescued 150 people from flooding. They had to put it in there just like that. And again, Genesis 8:3. And the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. That's Genesis 8:3. And again, the first act of weather warfare admitted to on the Jesuit order's birthday. The Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati. We've been talking about all the Illuminati Scottish Rite numbers on all these storms. What happened in Maui, what just happened in Florida. Tropical Storm Adalia, the same gematria as Bavarian Illuminati and Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, both Jesuit creations. But like we've always said, this gang is using the Bible like a playbook, and they have, well, it's total witchcraft, or they have sophisticated technology, or it's a combination of both. And again, we're talking about the same stuff over and over. Those numbers. When Maui flooded on the 8th day of the 3rd month, they said it was the worst flooding in 25 years, and 8/3/2021, 8 plus 3 plus 20 plus 21 was a date with 52 numerology. And again, the first act of weather warfare admitted to in 1952 on the Jesuit order's birthday, August 15th. We're talking about The Rock, who's going to turn 52 years old next year on May 2nd, and how significant his Moana is, and the Maui character to what's been going on in Maui with the flooding and with more recently the fire, which was exactly 29 months later, and fire and earth both have that 29. So, but yeah, Cedar Key also alone, just the name of the town, Cedar Key, 144.72 like Jesuit order. And then in the other ciphers, 36 and 45 like IHS, the Jesuit acronym. So, also, one other thing I noticed about here, actually, Cedar Key, Florida. Let's do that one all the way. 137. We just talked about that huge, with Hawaii made up of 137 total islands, but 8 big ones, like it burned on 8/8, the anniversary of it getting the 808 area code. And we talked about the parallels with the Great Chicago Fire, which started at the address 137. We talked about The Rock playing the King of Hawaii and the number 74 and where it fits in with hurricanes and the history of the king dying and America overthrowing Hawaii with the Committee of 13, only for this fire to happen 13 days before the state's 64th birthday, when Maui's 64, and a whole bunch of other things. But Cedar Key, Florida is also 88. And the article that I read today about The Rock creating this charity, it goes into his grandfather and grandmother and how their entertainment business went out in 88. And I was like, wow, they even mention how The Rock, how his grandparents got him into entertainment, and it ended in 88 in light of the 88 fire. But Cedar Key, Florida, 88. Again, the same numbers in these rituals. And we're going from where The Rock's Moana and also the king character relates, Hawaii, to now Florida, where he used to play for the Miami Hurricanes. And again, this whole thing being blamed on the winds of Dora. And August 9th, the day the fires ended in Maui, was the 4th anniversary of Dora the Explorer, concluding August 9th, 2019. Anyway, 268 is September 25th. That's the 268th day of the year. And that's the day leaving 97 days left in the year. Hurricanes 97. Remember the surname Carter's 97. Reuben Carter, the boxer known as the Hurricane. Jay-Z with his first music video, Hawaiian Sophie. But I do wonder if that could be a clue. The Cedar Key on the 83rd Meridian West. Because September 25th 5th is, again, the 62nd anniversary of JFK's weather control speech about the benefits that could come from weather control. And then after he died, Lyndon Johnson said, "Who controls the weather controls the world." And then at the end of Vietnam, we admitted to Operation Popeye, flooding out the Vietnamese with weather warfare. And that was a decade after the Royal Air Force admitted to weather warfare on August 15th, 52, more than a decade later. So, anyway, Cedar Key, the town they focused on. And then Mitch McConnell. He's 81 years old right now. We've been talking a lot about 81 in light of how President Trump's 81 and President Biden's 81, and Biden supposedly got 81 million votes, even more than Obama, which is really hard to believe. And also that he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. That's where he was born. Jesuit stronghold where Route 81 runs through the town. And notice from Mitch McConnell's birthday to his freeze yesterday, August 30th, was 191 days later. If you're new here, that's foreign to you, but if you're a veteran here, you know already that's big-time Jesuit Society of Jesus number. 191 is also the 43rd prime number, and Kentucky equals 43, as does Civil War. And Lincoln was from Kentucky, the Civil War president, born on the 43rd day of the year. And there's all this Civil War symbolism going on right now. This happened while Charleston was getting wrecked with a storm where the Civil War began. And I know it's a lot to comprehend, but we should know that we live in a world with very advanced technology. I mean, somehow you could be anywhere in the world right now watching this live stream just seconds behind the words actually coming out of my mouth. There's some kind of delay as it goes through the internet. You're like 10, 15 seconds behind me, but you're almost here in real time keeping up with me. And again, I mean, it's crazy, this technology we have. What else is this technology that's out there capable of that we're not aware of? These are the things we need to think of. Like, what really happened to Mitch McConnell yesterday? But 191. Society of Jesus 191 and 56, like Washington, D.C.'s 56. 191 is the 43rd prime number. Kentucky equals 43, like Civil War, like we just said. The letters D and C are the fourth letter and the third letter. I should have put up there the word Masonic equals 43 because D.C. is known as the Masonic city. But Jesus Christ has that gematria 43 and 74 as well. Again, 191 is the 43rd prime. Society of Jesus 191. Jesus Christ 43. Think about how nicely that goes together. The word book equals 43. Book 43. The book that gives us the story. But Jesus Christ also 74, like the words Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, parables alone, like Jewish, like occult, like Masonic, like George Washington, like Holy Roman Empire. And the year Georgetown opens, George Washington becomes the first recognized U.S. president. Georgetown, the first Jesuit university. Both of these things happening in 1789. George Washington was 57 years old. Georgetown equals 57, like Rome. Roman 74, like George Washington. George Washington is depicted like Jesus at the U.S. Capitol building. I haven't even been there yet, but I was just watching this documentary about the Capitol building, and they were showing how George Washington is painted as this messianic-like figure in the clouds, like up in heaven, and then below the Capitol building with that painting up in the ceiling, there's an open tomb for George Washington, just like how there's an open tomb for Jesus that people tour and visit. And how these people that are controlling us are just controlling us with books and stories. It's like America's created at the time the printing press is out. This is the first nation created post-printing press. English, Gematria, Holiday, Independence Day, Jesus, Cross, Messiah, Gospel, Parables, Masonic, Killing, Roman, all equal 74. The 74th day of the year is to remember the killing of Caesar by stabbing, which also equals 74. Both killing and stabbing equals 74. Again, you guys, just think about all these things. It's not hard to see who's running the show. All the Roman architecture in D.C. They're running the royal family. They're running this nation. It's just so in our face. It's like a slap in the face to be an adult and realize that DC's nicknamed the Masonic City. It's not even hidden. But then they don't teach us anywhere in our 13 years of slave school about any of that. Why is the whole secret society thing left out in the first 13 years? I think that's interesting to think about, that the city's known for secret societies where all these strange happenings happen in politics, like 3 of the first 5 presidents dying on 7/4. And the first 2 who went on the same day in 1826, Jefferson and Adams, were critical of the Jesuits. Monroe probably was too. I'm sure we just got to find the Monroe history piece. Probably something about the Monroe Doctrine. Oh, by the way, this McConnell thing, they're making a big deal about how he's been the leader of the Republicans in the Senate for 16 years. Remember, the Jesuits since the 16th century. And sure enough, from his last swearing in, January 20th, 2021, when he took office, to today, or yesterday, the day he froze, was exactly 136 weeks, the 16th triangular number. And the focus in the media is it looks like this is going to be it for him being the leader in the Senate. Next year, election year. I don't think he's up next year, but it'll be a time of transference of power, and it could come sooner than later if he's deemed, not fit. Feels like that's the story that's coming. And remember the power of these numbers, 136 and 16. For all you March Madness fans, the first time a 16 beat a 1 was just the other year. It was in 2018, and it was on the 16th of March, and it was 16 seed University of Maryland, Baltimore County, beating 1 seed Virginia. And it was the 136th all-time meeting between a 16 and a 1. And again, if you had 1 through 16 together, it equals 136. Remember that inauguration day, that swearing-in day, January 20th, 20/1, the 201st day of the nation's age when you measure from July 4th. Again, big Jesuit, big Illuminati number, 201. Why did they move it to that day? Again, you got the answer to the question. So that's the Mitch McConnell piece. And then Oprah and The Rock, $10 million. You guys, you see how in Gematria Satan equals 35 and 10? This charity is being launched exactly 35 weeks before The Rock's upcoming May 2nd birthday when he turns 52. And where Satan's 35 and 10, another word for Satan is devil, which is 52. And again, you got to begin to ask, why do we have different words for the same thing in English? Looking at this stuff for all these years, I start to think some of the reasons are these. Like they don't want to get away from this miles system and just get us all on metric because there's important distances in miles as well as metric. And remember, if you write out order of Illuminati, for example, it equals 93. And if you write out Illuminati alone, it's 150. The sun is 150 million kilometers away on average, 93 million miles away on average. Kind of like Alec Baldwin, born on the 93rd day of the year, shoots the Ukrainian woman on the set of Rust at 1:50 in the afternoon, 201 days after his birthday. And then what happened compared to Brandon Lee's death on the set of The Crow. Brandon Lee was buried in 93 on the 93rd day of the year on Alec Baldwin's birthday. But also, Brandon Lee's death was compared to his father's last film that he was making while he died with Game of Death. Bruce Lee was filming Game of Death when he died on the 201st day of the year. But anyway, The Rock, his grandfather who got him in the entertainment world, who his grandfather's tattoos is who the Moana character's made after, by Walt Disney. And again, Walt Disney's Mr. 201. Walter Elias Disney, his full name's 201. And again, he's De Molay, which is Templars, and Templars are the old Jesuits, and it's all the same shit. But, oh yeah, coming back to the 10 million 35 weeks before his upcoming birthday, The Rock is born just outside of San Francisco, where the Church of Satan was established in 1966. And The Rock was born the year the Church of Satan turned 6 years old in 72. And 72 is a demonic number in a sense because there's 72 demons in the Goetia. It's funny that Jesuit order equals 72, like school. Seems like school puts a lot of demons into people. I really do think that the school system, all part of this system, how they bring us up, the school system, I really do think it's one of the most detrimental things that happens to a lot of people. And people don't even know what happened to them. They're shell-shocked. Now they're just on big pharma, trying to make it throughout the day without too much anxiety and depression and feeling bummed out about everything. Just like they just haven't been able to cheer up since they're whatever. Just so many people have such a bad experience in school. Anyway, rather than get off topic, let me steer it back in here. Just things like this. Legendary Cowboys executive dies at 91. We call Dallas the 13 city. If you add 1 through 13 together, it equals 91. NFL also has that 13. NFL kicks off next week with the Chiefs, who have a history going back to Dallas. Again, the Dallas Texans, the old Dallas Texans football team, folded and became the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs defending champions, opening up the season. Remember, don't forget Vince Lombardi, who they played the trophy for, the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Lombardi died unexpectedly the day before the season began at Jesuit Georgetown. Gotta look into some of these other stories. Devil raised to Nashville, huh? And this article about the charity, they have to mention that he's from Hayward. They have to mention 115 people dead at the time. And again, just Lucifer, another related word, has that 115 connection, as does Masonic, and as does killing. But anyhow, at the time of the charity, that's the number they're going with, even though it's a lot more. They mention in this article the Polynesian pro wrestling promotion on the islands. Or here, just to read the article real quick. Just to read a little bit of the article. WWE legend and Hollywood star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and longtime talk show host, author, and philanthropist Oprah Winfrey, she's using that title now like Bill Gates, amazing, announced the creation of the People's Fund of Maui to benefit those impacted by the recent wildfires in Maui on Thursday. I didn't even check the gematria of the fund. I got to look at it. People's Fund of Maui. 81 forwards and backwards, the old ritual number. And okay, but anyhow, in a post to X, but by the way, guys, an X is a cross, right? Cross is 74 like Twitter, and as we've always talked about, Elon Musk is the biggest Jesuit puppet there ever was. The first time he was ever declared the world's richest man just happened to be on the 78th anniversary of the death of Nikola Tesla. And again, Tesla and Gematria equals 78, just like Jesuit. On the 78th anniversary, declared the richest man. His whole thing with Twitter is a huge joke. Jesuit order, 144 and 54, just like his $54 an offer. $54 a share offer on 14/4, the anniversary of the shooting of Lincoln, who blamed the Civil War on the Jesuits. Anyway, an X is a cross. Cross is 74. Again, like Twitter, you know. And there's been plenty of 74 rituals with Twitter over the years. But in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, The Rock said he and Oprah are starting the fund with a donation of $10 million, and he encouraged others to donate as well. The Rock noted that one of the features of the fund is that any impacted adult in the Lahaina and Kula areas of Maui County will be eligible to receive $1,200 per month while recovering from the devastation. Earlier this month, wildfires raged through the Hawaiian island of Maui, killing at least 115 people and leaving many others missing or displaced. The Rock was born in Hayward, California in 1972 and moved frequently due to the lifestyle of his father, WWE Hall of Fame pro wrestler Rocky Johnson. I mean, it's really nice, and $1,200 does help, but if people are left with nothing right now and then they lost like everything, their livelihood, they have a family, Hawaii's an expensive place. It might be really hard to sustain on $1,200, and the next thing you know, they're having to move away. They can't live. You know, they're moving out to Las Vegas where it's cheaper. They hate leaving the island, but they got to go because of the circumstances, and now who's moving in and taking over where they used to live? You know what I mean? The Rock was born in Hayward, California in 1972 and moved frequently due to the lifestyle of his father, WWE Hall of Fame pro wrestler Rocky Johnson. He spent plenty of time in Hawaii, not only because of his father's commitments, but also because his mother's side of the family founded and ran the NWA Polynesian pro wrestling promotion on the islands. I got to look more into that league. But remember, Polynesian gematria equals 127. Maui is a Polynesian fire god. The Rock announced the new Moana live action April 3rd, that 4-3 number. The 93rd day of the year as well, that 93 number. April 3rd, 127 days before the fires began. 127, like the date of Pearl Harbor. December 7th, 127, like the new Pearl Harbor in New York buildings, 1, 2, and 7. Again, like Governor Josh Green being in New York talking Green New Deal, sustainable development stuff at the United Nations right before the fires on the 12th day of the 7th month. Spanned 28 days from the fires beginning and 28 days before the fires ended. Maui has that gematria 28, like kill, military 107, the 28th prime. Weather warfare, rituals, planned rituals by a numerical code because an entity controls this government that operates this way. And they coerce everybody by just controlling the money system and everything else. By maintaining their authority. Controlling so much with it. The screens, the laws, the nation, the people. There is something that needs to be broken. The Rock's grandfather, WWE Hall of Famer Peter Maivia, remember his name equals 56, and Moana was the 56th Disney film, and Hurricanes 56, and Climate Change, and Paris, France, and Society of Jesus. Again, the Paris, France, the home of the Jesuits, where the climate accords are. All this 56 stuff, that tech conference in January was the 56th of its kind. But Peter Maivia, 56, his tattoos used for the Moana character, Maui, who The Rock portrays. And remember, Peter Maivia died on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. June 13th, 82, 41 years before this destruction, with the parallels to Pearl Harbor, which happened in 41. 9/11 with buildings 1, 2, and 7 happened on a 41 date numerology. USA 41, the 13th prime, like the Committee of 13 overthrew Hawaii, and the Maui burned up 13 days before the state's birthday, where Slow Joe shows up for the birthday because Joe Biden equals 64 like Maui, and it was the 64th birthday of the state. Barack Hussein Obama also 64. Civil Rights Act in 64. It's like these psychopaths are like, we baited you into voting just based on race, and now we're going to make your town Lahaina black. These people are psychopaths. But yeah, this ritual comes 23 days after the fire on 23, and again, the gematria word that fits in there goes with Josh Green. And who runs Disney? Really? Notice The Rock's grandparents' business folded at 88. Again, 88. Beast, 88 and 47 like Rock. Big numbers with the government. Big numbers with D.C. and its history. Going back to George Washington. Who are these people doing this for? Turning the world to fire. Oprah Gale Winfrey. The full name of Winfrey. Oprah Gale Winfrey. Gale force winds, powerful winds like Dora. Her name has the gematria like Society of Jesus for the record. And there are some other interesting things here. The Rock, today's The Rock's 122nd day of his age, and it's the day leaving 122 days left in the year. 122. And Satanic equals 122, like San Francisco, like Pope Francis. Again, San Francisco is named after Saint Francis of Assisi, just like Pope Francis. And again, he created the Franciscans, the precursor to the Jesuits. But Satanic, San Francisco, and Pope Francis, all 122. The city of San Francisco on the 122nd meridian. And The Rock's upcoming birthday, it turned in 52 on 5-2, where Devil and Pope also fit in. Again, it's a lot to explain, but just understand, it's a big Jesuit cabal synced up with the Pope on his calendar with the 52-week year named after him. And something else interesting about the word Satan, it has gematria of 35 and 80 like Baphomet, which is the symbol for the Satanic Church. And again, Satan also has the gematria of 10 million, 35 weeks before The Rock's birthday, who's again from the San Francisco area where the church was founded. Don't forget Anton LaVey died 201 days from his birthday and also 201 days from the sitting Pope's birthday. He founded the Church of Satan. Again, those Jesuit Illuminati numbers, 201. For the record, Church of Satan, funny enough in Gematria, equals 56 like Society of Jesus. Like Gavin Newsom, the Jesuit who locked down California, saying 56% are going to get the cooties in 8 weeks, which is 56 days. But yeah, so also Anton LaVey, when he died in that big 201 ritual, he died at St. Mary's Medical Center in San Francisco. Think of the irony of that. The Virgin Mary Jesus. All these parallels, right? Jesus, the Roman name for Jesus, has that Gematria 35. Christmas Day, the day the Catholic Church has people worshiping Jesus as the Son who lives up in the sky. 1225, the square root is 35. The word Catholic equals 35, like Holy See's 35, like I's 35, like Thursday's 35. Thursday is named after Jupiter. Jupiter is Zeus. Think about the name Jesus. The Catholic Church venerates Peter, Jupiter. But yeah, this stuff all today on a Thursday. And again, NFL season's about to get underway, and we'll see if it's another year of 35 Thursdays. Has been for a long time. You just wonder if there's a talk in the offseason, man, we got to move away from this 35 Thursday. Too many people are figuring it out. We'll find out as soon as next Thursday. The opener. Dan Campbell, 35th game as the Lions head coach on a 35 Thursday. But yeah, again, you guys, think about the football. It's the shape of the eye, right? Here, let's just, two simple ciphers right here. The alphabetic order and alphabetic order with numerology. I, 35, right? Holy See, 35. Catholic, 35. Jesuitism, 35. The Catholic Church is the old government of Europe, 35. I mean, just think about these things, right? All-seeing eye, these European ideas coming over to America, all over our dollar bills. The first Catholic president, number 35. Again, you run it in reverse. Catholic is 46, like the 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament, like JFK, number 35, killed at age 46. Like Joe Biden, number 46, the second Catholic president elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age. His son, Beau Biden, died at age 46, 201 days before the Pope's birthday. And you know the rest of that one, if you've been around at least. If not, watch a few more videos. I probably talked about it recently. I'm always talking about the same things. Look up who Leo Jeremiah O'Donovan is. But yeah, we'll leave it there. About to hop over on the Patreon. Again, it's football season, and people love their decoding of football. So if you're into sports, taking advantage of rig sports, we're going to have our first live stream about the upcoming NFL season. And I got to admit, there's a part that's like, man, the whole world should just be behind what we're trying to wake people up to with the weather warfare. She does be able to focus on that, but again, you got to bring more and more people in because the world's sound asleep, and a lot of people are brought in through the sports. So that's why we're constantly working in so many areas. And again, thank you to everyone who does support the work. And until next time, Truth Seeker.